What's up, everybody?
What up? What up?
How's it going, Austin?
Oh, not too bad. Just a little tired. How you doing?
Good. I'm tired too. It's been a busy, busy day for
Right.
both of us.
Right.
And then you never know when you're going to get a fucking day off. So,
It's true. And you're going to meetings that don't exist, so it's
look,
it's it's a, it's a
that's
struggle over here.
if that's the worst thing that happens this week, I'm good. Okay.
Right. I hear
So,
that.
just to let y'all know, I thought I had a meeting this evening at 7 o'clock, and then I had to be on here at 8. So I was gonna have to leave the meeting early. Well, I got to where the meeting was, and it was at a restaurant, so that's fine. I had to eat dinner anyway. And we ate dinner, and then I realized it's not until next Tuesday night. So that's how my day's going.
That's
Look, why didn't you give yourself a fancy title like I did, co-host and investigator?
I'm just not there yet. I don't have that I'm not a famous podcaster yet, so
What the fuck ever. Whatever.
I gotta work on that,
Yeah, whatever.
one of these days.
All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We're going to chat about the first episode of Strangely Haunted. And amazingly, we're blown the fuck away that it's hit like 7,200 views in 10 days without anybody ever knowing, seeing us investigate or anything.
Right.
So hopefully people are liking it. It's got 170 something likes, which is, it's hard to get people to hit the thumb button, the thumbs up.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome. So thank y'all for watching. If y'all watched the first episode, I promise that a lot of the issues we had the first episode there worked out for the second one. It was actually the first time, surprisingly, it was the first time me and Austin ever investigated together. We've known each other for over a year now. It's the first time we ever investigated together, and it's the first time we ever filmed together. So we both have the know-how, the filmmaking and the editing and all that. We just had to work out the kinks, especially with the sound. Sorry about some of the parts of the sound. We cleaned it up the best we could. We got those worked out this time with the new mics that we were using and the recorder. So the next video, which we will be showing y'all the trailer tonight for episode 2, that's going to come out in April. The audio issues are all fixed, so we're good there. Sometimes also you just can't help with contamination with heaters and shit like that. I mean, even on location 2, our lavalier mics are fine. You can get all the noise out of those, but when it comes to like the EVP audio and stuff that we're doing with EVPs, some of that's got a lot of the fucking. It's just crazy because the microphones are so sensitive, and it doesn't sound that loud when you're there, but then it comes out, when you're trying to review evidence, it comes out really loud. So I guess we'll start off. We're going to start off by starting at the very beginning with the Commodore. Regina from PBF Investigations, who is a good friend of mine, and she helped me put on. Me, her, and Lee are the ones that put on the Tennessee Haunts and Legends Expo last year in Nashville. Mm-hmm. She actually found the Commodore, and probably a year ago, she found the Commodore last year sometime. And yes, we are live. But she found the Commodore last year and asked if we all wanted to go. And then when me and you decided, and it's a place that's never really been investigated. There's not a lot of claims that were known. The only claim that I can find online was in a Channel 2 news article on their website that was about a little girl. And it was just at the very end. It was 2 sentences about some people staying in the hotel, see a little girl in the hallway. And even the owners don't know a lot about the history because in a lot of these small towns, the courthouse is burned down, so the records are gone. Mm-hmm. So we know that it was built in 1939 by Robert Staley. And so pretty much all the history that we knew about is what we told you on the video. Right. We didn't have a whole lot of meat to go off of with that. And don't really know of any deaths or anything in the hotel that are recorded. The owners that own it now, I think, bought it in 2004 and remodeled it and kind of helped revitalize downtown Linden. And because it was kind of a dying small town, and now it's thriving with all these small businesses and things. But this hotel mainly, their bread and butter is the people that come to the Buffalo River down by Linden to kayak and canoe every year. So in the summer, when it's warm, they're booked all summer. Right. And so that's how we came to find the hotel. And then Regina and I going back and forth with the owners to make sure it's okay that we come investigate. And they were great. The owners, the mom and dad went there, but their son was there who runs it now, I guess. Mm-hmm. And he kind of lives in an apartment in the back. And he was telling us he hears what sounds like when there's nobody else in the building, people talking upstairs and like furniture moving. Yeah. And we heard some of that, but there were other people staying in the hotel too, because it's an active hotel. We didn't have it all to ourselves. So that's also why we didn't go to more rooms. Right. To more rooms to investigate. We didn't a couple of rooms, and room 2 was, we were told, was the most active, so that's why we went there. But sorry, I can get that out. But I think for us going in kind of blind, not knowing if we could actually make any kind of documentary, and we actually had that discussion before.
Yeah.
We don't have any claims we're really going to even catch anything. It's just going to be a video. But we decided, no matter what, because this is kind of our motto with this video series that we're doing, that we're going to put it out whether we catch anything or not. Because that's one of the things that we both love about Ghost Hunter, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Back in the day, they put out an episode. They might have caught one EVP, and they still put the episode out. But it's about because a lot of times it's about the journey, not necessarily the destination. And also, we want to show real investigating. And I've been on some investigations, you catch anything. You'd be lucky if you
Right.
get EVP. Like, it's just flat all night and just nothing happens. So, what did you think about the Commodore and like our process of getting there?
Our process was chaotic, to say the very least. I mean, even to start, it was weird because, at first I thought it was odd because, like you said, you didn't book this. It just
Yeah.
kind of fell into our laps. And the year prior, we tried for like an entire year to get an investigation scheduled together. And every single time we did, either you had something happen, I had something happen, or the event got canceled, something. Like literally every single time. There were
Yeah.
like 30 investigations we had lined up. So we finally get Commodore. And I thought it was weird because the first time that you and I met in person was at a hotel. And I'm like, okay, wow. So our first investigation is gonna be at a hotel.
Right.
Like 1% of I've only investigated one other hotel of all the places I've been to. Like that's not a popular place to investigate.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I thought that was kind of strange. And driving down there, something just kept telling me like today's something important.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? So I searched the date, and then I realized the day that we started filming was the day that you first messaged me and we first started talking. So I'm like, what is going on here? You know,
Right.
it was really strange how everything kind of came together. But like you said, we didn't know if we were even be able to have enough content to make something that was entertaining to put out.
And
And
look, people, I didn't slide into his DMs or anything. He was actually a guest on the show like a year prior.
right.
And we were meaning to talk more about the paranormal outside of the show, outside of the Unseen
Yes,
Paranormal.
I guess I
And we
should have
just
clarified that. That sounds kind of sketchy now.
I'm
Yeah,
happily married. Austin's a
right.
good-looking guy, but I'm happily married, and he's happily straight. So, um, but you were just like, yeah, he slid my DMs. Like that's what
Yeah,
kind
and
of
then we met
decided.
up at a hotel in
It's
Louisville, and
had a
it's all
weekend
history from
rendezvous.
there.
A weekend rendezvous.
Yeah.
But also I had never investigated a hotel before, so it was a first for me, which is cool because it's always cool to go to those first locations like that. Like I remember the
Yep.
first time I went to a jail, first time I've gone to prison, things like
Yep.
that. Investigating. So that's always cool for those first because each location like that is different, and you have different challenges for one. But
Right.
also visually, they're all different, and so they're visually all cool in their own way and their own history and things, and have different histories because of what they were.
Yeah.
But you got to think a hotel. So Robert Staley ran that hotel until the 50s. So
Mhm.
for a good at least 20, 25 years before he died. And so you got to think there's a lot of people. And there was no interstate back then. So Main Street, USA, if you were coming up to Nashville or going down south from Nashville, you went through Linden on that
Right.
highway, on Highway 100. So it's a main highway that goes from one side of the Tennessee all the way to Memphis to the other. So you went through there. So you think of all the thousands of people that stayed there. You get people that unalive themselves in hotels. That's what they
Yep.
do. They go there so that their families don't find them, which is unfortunate. And if you ever think of doing that, please call a hotline and talk to somebody. People murder other people in hotel rooms.
Yep.
People die of natural causes in hotel rooms, accidental deaths, things like that. So you have a lot of people, and then also a lot of trauma of maybe a couple's fighting or leaving kind of that energy and imprint in those rooms. And so you have all this energy, so you can have a shit ton of residual for one.
Right.
And then out of maybe the hundreds of people that died there, you may have a couple of intelligent spirits that stick around, and that makes for a good haunting. As far as we've
Yeah.
seen. So at least for, to hear phantom noises and voices and things like that, phantom footsteps, things like that, even with the residual stuff, just because there's so much of that energy left there from what we believe with stone tape theory and all that,
Right.
that yeah, and then when conditions are right, you get this buildup of all of these sounds. And so it sounds like the place is like super haunted and there's all these spirits, when maybe not, it's just all this residual energy from there. But a cool little town too. And I was glad we kind of
Yeah.
got to show the downtown a little bit with the courthouse and things. Um,
Yeah, it was a cool little town with a couple. We didn't get to eat at the one place, which I'm still upset about. But even the little like diner that we went to, it was good and it was
yeah,
very. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but like if you picture a diner in that town, that's what it is, right? Like if that makes sense.
yeah.
It's very much your kind of home location type of thing.
Well,
So,
yeah, but you're from the north. So
well,
you come
yeah,
down here to the
yeah,
south, that's like the norm. In every small town, we have those type of little country cafe type deals. So
right,
yeah, meat and three, you know, fried food, chicken, stuff like that. But yeah, that place was really good. But now some of them are shit. Some of them are greasy spoons. You don't want to eat there. Like I've been to
yeah,
some of
yeah,
those in
yeah,
small towns. But no, it's a nice little small town. All the people were very nice,
yeah,
um, and just a little vibrant. Like it was so busy downtown, more than I thought it would be. Even after dark, we were
right,
hearing cars. There were cars going up down the road, and then so we went to the cafe first to investigate. And they made it look like 50s diner cafe. And unfortunately, the cafe was closed. We would have ate there, but they were closed
hmm,
until like 2 days after we were there, and they
yeah,
were opening for the season. And they had closed around Christmas, and they were closed through February 3rd or something like that. So a few days after we were there, and so we didn't get to eat there, but it looked like their menu was pretty good. But it was an interesting investigation in the cafe, and that's why it's like
yeah,
the predominant, half of the video, because whatever all that stuff happened in there. But the traffic was crazy, and then trying to debunk the shadows and stuff, and you have all these cars coming from everywhere and trying to look at all those angles and still not being able to disprove the shadows
right,
was interesting, um, because we were both seeing them, but also earlier in the night there were some other people that were with us that were seeing them as well when we were just sitting there chatting.
yeah. That was
So
during the day too when they saw them,
yeah, yeah,
so it wouldn't have been traffic lights or cars or anything.
right, right.
Um,
Yeah, and then also when we were just sitting there talking before we started filming, I was sitting there talking to Regina, and I was leaned up against the little bar area where the cash register and stuff is up front, and it seriously felt like somebody tapped me on the shoulder, like it was a hard like finger tap on the shoulder, and you can't prove that, it's just personal experience, but I
right.
can't explain it either. I mean, I'm just sitting there like leaned like on an elbow there, just chilling, and we're just talking, and I look around like somebody tapped me on the shoulder, which is just weird. But I always seem to get touched for some reason. Y'all saw the post I put up. A lot of y'all saw the post I put up about the hospital that I went to with Sin Trader Hill the other day, and I
Mhm.
got poked in the butt cheek there. It felt like a finger poked me in the butt cheek, and then my pants were cold in that area. Anyway, side story. Well, I've gotten poked in the butt cheek at Thomas House.
Right.
I've had a finger run up the back of my head at an old rescue squad station that I investigated. It happened twice, but on both investigations. Um,
Wow.
yeah, I seem to get touched all the time. But anyway, I've had my pants tugged on at Lode's house in Franklin. That was during a day tour that me and Lee went on.
Really?
So I don't know. They just feel like they can molest me, I guess. Like, what the hell?
I
So
mean, hey.
anyway, um, so we were seeing the shadows up front that were really. I wish we would have caught this on camera,
Yeah.
because it's crazy how the paranormal's like that. Like even with EVPs, you'll catch EVPs on one piece of audio equipment, but not on the four others you got running,
Right.
or on one camera, and you might have three cameras going, but you're only catching that one audio when the one camera's audio. So it's interesting how that works. But the fact that it didn't show up on camera, but we're sitting there seeing it with our own eyes, and we're both seeing it in different spots on the bar, but it's just subtle, I guess. So it's interesting. And if y'all have any questions about the Strangely Haunted, about the Commodore, please ask us. That's what we're here for tonight, is to talk about it, and talk about the investigation, and answer y'all's questions. But yeah, the cafe was interesting because, and then debunking the door swinging.
Right.
Which I learned from that it didn't take a whole lot to make that door swing, which it seemed like it would with the
Yeah.
gap on the top and the bottom.
Yeah,
But
the cafe was cool. It was good because like you said, we didn't know anything about that place, whether we were gonna get anything, and we were going in there blind, and to start out in the cafe, we're like, oh shit.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. And I think that because we were both running on no sleep. The day before, I was up for like 30 some hours straight because I drove down to Nashville after working, and then we went and we scouted another location, and we went and hung out with some people, and then I was up like 30 hours straight, slept like 5-6 hours, and we headed out there,
yeah,
and I was dead. Me and you kept running to the gas station for Baja Blast. It was just a rough night, and
yeah.
to start out in the cafe and get that activity, that was like, okay, now we're in go mode.
Yeah, if we ever have a sponsor, I want it to be Mountain Dew Baja Blast because we
Yes,
both drink the shit.
I want Taco Bell. Give me it on
Right.
tap and give me some beefy 5-layer burritos. I'll do
Right.
whatever you want.
You don't want me eating beefy 5-layer burritos.
No, we don't. We don't.
But oh Lord. Anyway, the cafe. So there's a couple of weird things that happen that we just can't
Yeah.
explain, and I don't, it's paranormal because it's outside the norm. But I'm not gonna say it's spirit or anything. I just don't know. We just couldn't disprove it.
Right.
One of the things I've never seen on the FLIR, and I've done hours and hours of footage with that FLIR that goes on my cell phone, was that heat anomaly, which was just an orb by itself
Yep.
that just pops up in midair, and it's not a heat reflection because it's not reflecting off anything, and the heat won't reflect like out into the middle of the air. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
if it's reflecting off a window or something or a mirror. So I don't know what that was, and like I've never seen like a heater kick on and cause anything like that. You might see like the wall change temperature or something, but you won't see like balls of heat. And
Right.
usually in the paranormal, we're looking for like cold spots, but this was just the size of a saucer, a dinner plate or something,
Yeah.
just floating out in the midair there, which was weird. And also that it was coming from the door and kind of going across where we were seeing the shadows
Right.
was interesting. Not that it adds up to anything, but it was just interesting that they're happening kind of the same area. And then also we had been hearing stuff in the kitchen and toward the bathroom area. That's why I got up walking the hallway into the bathroom area. And then also, of course, the ice machine scared the shit out of me.
Same.
But also there was interesting correlation when I asked for them to make a noise, the ice maker drops ice. And then we get over laughing about that because it scared both of us. And then I asked for it to make a noise and the fucking heater kicks on.
Right.
Loud as shit. And that heater sounded like it was dying. Slow,
Yeah.
painful death. And then the other thing that we caught in the kitchen reflecting, it looks like it's not even reflecting on the stainless steel. It's in front of the stainless steel in the
Oh yeah.
kitchen.
Yeah.
And the only thing I showed it to Roger, my husband, and he called it a ghost flame. And I'm like, yeah, that's what it looks like, fire flaring up. But there's no explanation for that because we looked through hours and hours of footage from our cameras and from the stationary camera that actually caught it, the body cam I had sitting on the table. And no car headlights looked like that throughout the video, no matter where they were coming from. We looked at all that stuff to try to disprove that to be just a reflection from outside, but nothing, it did not do it. And there were cars up and down and turning in and out of every street around there all night. And that was the only time that we caught that.
Yeah.
And both of our cameras were pointing straight up there most of the night as well. So that was interesting. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, that was weird. And the whole thing on the thermal, I thought I had it figured out. And then I got pissed off because all my explanations didn't work out. I was checking. I mean, I went over that footage for so long, and we had basically that whole area covered in cameras. That we didn't show every single angle because, my God, how much can we do? But I thought for a second I was like, that's a flashlight. It's dark back there. Eric flipped on the flashlight, turned it off. Which I don't know if a flashlight would cause some sort of like heat. I don't know. But I thought that's what it was. Wasn't a check for reflections, nothing. And so that really bugged me. So then when I went on to the flame, I was like, okay, this is obviously a reflection or something. And I was like, no, it can't be because it's freestanding in like the cutout window of the kitchen.
Yeah.
And there was nothing to cause it.
Right.
So what the hell?
And with the ghost flame thing, when the footage that I did see with the car headlights going by, for one, they were clear white, like it was a white light
Yeah,
from car headlights, and they went across in a straight line. They
yeah,
didn't come up like a flame, like it comes up from the bottom
exactly. Yeah,
like
it's
a
bottom
flame.
up. Yeah,
And the cars weren't doing that because there's no hill or anything right there. It's all flat outside of the restaurant. And even if the car had like the old orange headlights, they would have went across,
right.
not from the bottom up. So that was weird. And also, when the IR did reflect across there, it was the same thing. It looked
Yes,
in the black and white. It looked like a white streak up and down
right,
that went straight across, and there was nothing that went from top to bottom and was orange and red like fire. So
right.
hard to explain for sure. Another thing I wanted to address before we get too deep into talking about more um, is our lack of equipment. Um,
Yeah,
I and you can investigate however you want. I'm not ever going to tell you that stuff is fake and that I wasn't there. I don't know. I think that REM pods and things can be used and can give you evidence when you have correlating evidence with EVPs and things like that, and you have other activity going on. And I think they have their place. I think EMF detectors have their place as well, cat toys and things like that. But I'm not a big equipment guy, neither are you.
yeah,
And because I think they're too fallible, and we're trying to bring you a honest, open investigation of this is how we investigate and see if we can catch, images on film and EVPs because a lot of that stuff it's hard to debunk and it's hard to say
right.
when you have just this errant voice out of nowhere where it came from when there's nobody else around, or it's talking over you like we got a couple of times in the Commodore video in the speakeasy, like it's commenting on what we're talking about. And it wasn't any of us sitting right there. It would have been way louder and things. But we are going to bring some more equipment in and some more techniques that we do believe in somewhat that I
Hmm.
think are less fallible, like spirit boxes and the SS method and things like that. I'm very intrigued by the EMF rope to
Yeah,
the EMF trip line.
those things are expensive though.
Yeah, they are. The EDI, I'd like to start using a lot more too
Yes, 100%.
with the geofund and stuff on it. We will bring in some more equipment than we did at the Commodore. We had some other equipment that you just didn't see. Like we had a trail cam that was up in the hallway where the little girl
Yeah,
was supposedly seen all night. And it was when you triggered it, it was set to take 3 photos in a row and then record video for 30 seconds. And it didn't catch anything but normal people.
right.
And so nothing anomalous whatsoever in that hallway. And then also our room 7, we had cameras running there all night and didn't catch anything.
Yeah,
Nothing in the room that we were staying in. Um, the only thing that we had happen, and we mentioned it in the video, is the whistle. We were getting
yeah,
equipment ready, and we heard, and it sounded like it faded in. You
right.
turned in the hallway, faded in, and then faded out. Like you turned the volume up where it was loud
It
enough, like a
it
human.
almost reminds me of like if you're sitting at a railroad track and a train approaches from the distance, and if it's
Yeah, yeah,
blowing its whistle while it's coming towards you, that's kind of
yeah.
how it was, like that crescendo in where it
Right.
almost seemed like it was coming towards you, but it was also fading. I don't know, dude. That was weird. That was crazy.
But the closer it got to us, like right before it got to our room, it faded out.
Yeah.
And it slowly faded. And unfortunately, we weren't rolling on anything because we are getting equipment ready because I don't even think it was dark then.
No, I don't think so.
And there were still people milling about the hotel. And so that was interesting. That's one of the loudest whistles I've ever heard. I've heard
Oh yeah.
whistling before at Thomas' house a few times that was audible, but it wasn't that loud. And I've never heard it fade in and fade out like that.
Right. Yeah, that
It's
was
really crazy.
very, very odd.
And
I don't
also, I'm
know.
glad that we both heard it
Yeah. And we just kind of
to
look at each other
validate
like,
each
yeah,
other.
okay.
Yeah. And I immediately went out in the hallway to make sure nobody's out there. But yeah,
Right.
the way it faded in and faded out, it didn't sound like it came from a human. It
No,
was,
it didn't
it
at
was
all.
weird. Yeah. Um, but yeah, the cafe turned out to be really active
Yeah.
with something going on, whether it be residual or I don't think we really got anything. that was really intelligent. There was a couple of EVPs that maybe were responding to us, but I don't know if it was anything intelligent.
Yeah, I don't
It
know.
seemed
It,
like
it,
it
it
was,
makes me curious though, since we were there 2 days before the kitchen opening,
yeah.
and that's kind of, I don't know how far. When was the I mean, I guess when would the fact that it was on a main highway no longer have like been a thing, right? I guess is my question.
Probably 50s or 60s when the Interstate 40 was built. I don't know. I don't know when that part of Interstate 40 was built, like down that way
Right.
from Nashville, like towards Memphis. But I
But
mean, the interstate system was 40s, 50s, 60s, kind of. So somewhere in there.
yeah, it just makes me wonder, like, since we're there like 2 days before the kitchen was opening, which was probably a similar time every single year since they're kind of a seasonal thing.
Yeah,
And if this is going back, 50 years,
yeah.
and we're seeing this flame form in the
In the
kitchen
kitchen
when they
when
probably used to cook with flames in the kitchen,
right, right.
it just makes you wonder if it's something residual that could have just been on repeat, and
Yeah,
we just happened to be there at the right time on the right day.
yeah. I don't know. It's interesting, for sure.
'Cause that's just
Um,
it's so random. It's
yeah,
so
yeah.
random.
And to also because we were up with our cameras debunking the door swinging,
Yeah.
and I just happened to take that body cam off and set it facing that way on the
Right.
table, just stand it up on the table. And I only did that because I thought, oh, maybe it'll be another angle from us debunking the door, showing kind of the layout of the cafe and where the door is in relation to where we've been sitting, kind of thing.
Right.
I wasn't thinking about capturing anything, and yeah, I caught that. And then the thermal camera we turned toward the door to see if there was something coming through that doorway and moving in
Yeah.
front of the bar area, and that's where we got the heat anomaly. But also what I want to say too is that shows you right there that a stripped down version of investigating, you can still catch anomalous things that you
Is that your
can't
dogs?
explain. No, I got the window open because I'm smoking and fucking neighbors' dogs are barking.
Oh, okay. I
This
was
new
gonna
mic,
say
this new microphone's awesome. I'm telling you, you could
yeah, that
hear it.
was that was that was pretty clear.
You could
But
hear a
yeah, you're
frog fart
absolutely
in my
right.
pool. I just think that nowadays people get too caught up in the tech part of it and using all this technology. And for me, it's kind of going back to the basics of when I started as a teenager. All we
Yeah.
had was a recorder that actually took cassette tapes, little mini cassette tapes,
Yep.
and we had a camcorder that
Yep.
took mini VHS
Yep.
and had a film camera. You
Yeah.
take pictures with. And you have to get the film developed before you can see anything. That's what we had,
Yeah.
and that was before Ghost Hunters and all that. And so it makes me sound ancient when I say before Ghost Hunters.
I mean
Look, I'm 41. I'm not that old. Okay, don't even start with me. Don't even start with me. You're not that far behind me.
yeah,
Also,
but I
you go
will
work
catch up.
you go work your ass off 15 years in the ambulance lifting fat people for a
Hell
living,
no.
and you tell me how your body feels when you're 40 years old.
I'm good.
So anyway, y'all are awfully quiet out there. Thank y'all for joining in and watching, but y'all are awfully quiet. Like you can talk in the chat and ask us questions if you like, and hell, you can call me a fucker. I don't care. But anyway, YouTube might, but I don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting back to on topic, so ADD squirrel. Um, hey Heather, thanks for joining us tonight. Yeah, I was complete fucking track where it was.
We're talking about the strip down investigating.
Yeah, yeah, and just hopefully it shows investigators, especially ones who are learning or want to learn, that you don't need all of the bells and whistles
Yeah.
and the flashy lights.
Yeah.
And one of the main reasons you see them on TV, and I promise you, I've been told this so many times by some of the pair celebrities I've had on my show, that is just for TV because it's flashy lights and it gets your attention and it's exciting.
Yeah.
But they're so fallible, and I've said this so many times with like REM pods and things, they can go off with a walkie-talkie.
Right.
It's easy to fake that shit,
Right.
on TV when you get a producer behind the camera that has a walkie-talkie. and they don't even
Yeah.
have to talk in it. They just hit the button and mic it up. So, um, and so you can have people that you don't even, not even that you're faking it, but somebody you don't even know. Maybe the location owner knows about that, is in the fucking hiding in the next room in the
Exactly.
walkie-talkie so that they have a haunted location. You never know what people's motives are.
Yeah, or
So
it could be something that you don't even realize. Because I remember there
yeah,
was one point where we were using one, and, it kept going off, and it was weird, and then I realized I had my keys in my pocket, and my key fob was getting hit
yeah, yeah.
for, like, the unlock button, and once I
Anything that
pulled
gives
that
off
out,
frequency.
I'm like, "Oh, wow, okay, that's
Yeah,
why it
yeah,
hasn't shut up for the past 20 minutes because,
right. And
we're
that,
carrying around 20 pounds of equipment in our pockets, and it's really easy
right.
to."
Well, and also you got to think, and this is why I always say, people, you need to think outside the box. Like if you think you're close to the interstate, just about
Yeah,
anywhere you are, and
yeah,
truckers have radios that reach hundreds of miles. They're that
right,
powerful. You also have AM radio stations that run off those same frequencies
mhm,
that CB radios and walkie talkies run off of, that go for hundreds of miles as well. That's why they use AM, because it goes so much further than FM.
yeah,
And so those frequencies are what the EMF is getting set off by with the walkie talkie, and like your key fob cell phone uses those frequencies as well.
yep,
So why can a trucker that's within 50 miles of you on the interstate who has a really powerful CB, why couldn't that set it off? You
yeah,
know, so I just think they're too fallible. But anyway, hopefully we can show people real investigating. I mean, that's what we're trying to do. No bullshit, no junk, no cuts. With crazy things happening that you don't see. If we can't show it happening on video, if something moves and we don't catch it on video, it's not going in the video.
right,
You know what I'm saying? I don't care if I'm got the camera pointed this way, we got cameras, and it happens behind us. It's not going in the video, because then it looks like
yeah,
they're faking shit, like a lot of YouTubers do. Oh, them chairs stacked up behind me. Okay, that's a
right,
crazy fucking personal experience, but I can't prove it to you because I've seen it faked on YouTube
yeah,
many
exactly,
times by the same person. So he, in 3 of his videos, he's done the same fucking trick where he always turns around and everything happens behind his back. You know, so but also that's why we don't want to use a whole lot of equipment, because you don't need that stuff. Like, listen to your own body, your own intuition. After you've been investigating for a long time, most investigators get kind of a sixth sense of like feeling the energy in
mhm,
the room. And you'll hear us a lot of times in our videos say, "Oh, the room's gone flat.
yeah,
It was heavy when we come in here, felt like it was charged with energy. And we were having some things happen, catching EVPs or whatever. And then the energy just kind of goes flat, like they kind of run out of juice and they need to
right,
recharge." And whether that's draining your batteries, which they do some places, or which I've had have some places, and the theory is it's the spirits doing it. But we're just real investigating, and without all the bells and whistles and flashy lights, and hopefully we're entertaining for you because we're both stupid and make fun of each
one way
other
to
all
put
the
it,
time. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, we both act, well, I'm not going to use the word that I would use because it's offensive, but
right,
we're both idiots, and do nothing but joke with each other all the time. But the one thing we don't joke about is the paranormal and bringing real things that we can't explain. Also, the one thing that me and Austin very much believe in is that, um, thank you, Heather. What we believe in also is never saying the place is haunted, because
yeah,
we can't prove that. I don't care how much quote evidence we have. We're just showing you shit that we can't explain. You
yeah,
make up your own mind whether the place is haunted or not. If that's what you believe, then that's what you believe. But I would never say a place is haunted, because I don't know. Because we're still in territory of stuff that we can't prove. We just
right,
don't know where these voices are coming from, or like the ghost flame. We don't know where that came from. That heat anomaly. That could be something that's completely explainable by physicists or something. But I'm not a
yeah,
physicist. You're not. It could just be some discharge of energy in the atmosphere. So to say this is definitely spirits doing this would allude to us calling ourselves paranormal experts, which is a crock of shit. And so we'll never do that either. We'll say, man, that was a lot of crazy activity we got. We had personal experiences, but you'll never hear us say, hey, this place is haunted. And it also goes back to a motto that I've had for a long time, is that we don't go into a place investigating a haunting. We go investigating
mhm,
stories of haunting,
right,
because I can't tell you the place is haunted unless I go there and experience it myself.
right,
So just trying to be real, I guess, is what I'm getting at, and trying to get away from the equipment and the technology, because most of the stuff was not. how are you making a piece of equipment for investigating ghost hunting when you don't even know what the fuck ghosts are, what the
Exactly.
paranormal is? So,
Exactly.
we have a theory that EMF is a thing, and I've seen EMF bubbles and things, but I can't prove that was a spirit. It's freestanding EMF, which shouldn't be possible,
Right.
in a hallway or something. But it's also the culmination of all the evidence together. If you're going to use EMF meters and K2s and things like that, just make sure you have other evidence at the same time to say, oh, the REM pod was going off and we got this EVP, and
Right.
and that's kind of a correlation, and also the EMF was going off at the same time. Okay, that's evidence right there. Put that out there. Nobody would ever fault you for that because you have three pieces that happen at the same time. You know, and I would never discredit anybody's evidence anyway, except for pictures, some pictures and fake video that I've seen.
Yeah.
Some of those are just lens flares and things, and it's just naturally explainable. I'm not trying to debunk your evidence, but you should be the biggest debunker of your own evidence anyway. I
Right.
firmly believe that, especially if you call yourself an investigator. Otherwise, to me, you're a ghost hunter, and there's nothing wrong with that. To me, ghost hunters are the thrill seekers.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you.
And us investigators and researchers are actually going out there seriously investigating, trying to get evidence. And also the whole point of our show is not to try to get evidence to prove to y'all anything.
Yep.
Me and Austin investigate to prove to ourselves that the paranormal is real and that we're not crazy for the things that we experience in our weird lives. That's a big motivation for both of us that we've talked about. Is not even trying to prove it to other people. So
yeah, it's and I think a lot of the people are trying to prove stuff to themselves.
yeah.
Like they're trying to reassure themselves, so they just they capture some dust, some demon orbs, and they you can't tell them any different. Which that's fine.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's a conversation that could go on for 12 hours. No one really knows what's going on out there except for Cody and Satori. And that's final.
Yeah. And it's sad that there's a divide in the paranormal right now. And Ray Savino, who I've never met him in person, me and him and buddies online for quite a few years now. But he put it kind of perfectly the other day, and I shared his post. That it's the new school versus the old school. That us old school people, we don't want the equipment and all that. And we don't care about the YouTube video fakers, but then you have the new school that wants all the bells and whistles and the clicks and all that. And so it's kind of this battle that started happening. Well, the thing is, we all just need to come together and figure it out together. It's going to take all of us to even answer one question about the paranormal, let alone all the thousands of questions there are about what happened when we die, and what is a spirit, and all that. Is there such thing as intelligent hauntings, and what really are residuals and things like that. So yeah, it's interesting, and that's like you said, that's a rabbit hole we could go down. But anyway, to get back to the Commodore video and the investigation. Look, I get very ADD when I'm tired.
Hey, I'm here for it.
So we investigated room 2, and like we were talking about before, we really didn't get anything in our room other than that whistle, which we didn't catch. We both heard and didn't capture it. But we went to room 2, which we were told was the most haunted. If there was a most haunted room in the whole hotel, it was room 2, and there's nobody in there that night. And as soon as we went in the room, interesting things started happening.
Yeah.
For one, you caught some demon orbs.
Yeah, that happened.
And then I scared myself in the bathroom mirror because I didn't realize it was right there across the room from me. And I'm sitting in the corner. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, it's me in the bathroom mirror. Yeah. Yes, Heather, squirrel, very much all the time. Ask Austin. As one of my good friends and investigative partner.
That's the thing. Yeah, room 2 was cool. You could tell when you walked in it was different.
Yeah,
and it just had a different vibe. And I feel like, I think the Commodore as a whole, I felt like there was maybe something.
Yeah,
but being the first people in, they don't know what to do. They don't know who you are. They don't know what you're doing.
right.
And it's like they were kind of like in the shadows if there was anything there.
Yeah.
And room 2 kind of felt that way too. But that goes with I fucking hate these YouTubers who go to investigate these places and they ask for something, they get it, and then they go running out. And I'm like, okay, number one, you should not be doing this. Number two, if there was someone there who has been like at the Commodore, first place or the first people to investigate it in, the 100 years or whatever it's been there. And, for all this time, this person has been trapped there, staying there, whatever, hoping
Right,
to
maybe trying to
communicate with
communicate
someone.
and
Exactly. And finally you come in and say, hey, look, I'm someone who will listen to you. And then they try to interact and you go running out. Like, you're a piece of shit.
yeah.
It's not even about like, you're a pansy or whatever. No, it's to me, you're a piece of shit. Like, come on now.
Don't sugarcoat it, Austin. Tell us how you really feel.
I mean, that's just how I feel. Now, if you want to be a ghost hunter, that's fine.
Yeah.
But just don't go in with the intentions of saying that you're going to help or communicate or whatever with someone or something. And then once they try to interact with you, you go running out. And that's what I think in a place like that is one thing that you kind of have to overcome, because if there was someone in there who tried to interact with people, 99% of people who are staying in a hotel are not paranormal investigators. And if they wake up to a woman screaming in their ear, they're running out of there.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So it could have been years and years and years of this person trying to communicate. And every time they try to communicate, people run out on them.
Right. Right.
And so it's like, okay, why should we trust these people? And
Right.
that's one of the things we try really hard everywhere we go to be like, look, we're here for you. Like, you can trust us. We're not going to go running out. That's not to make us sound macho or anything like that.
Right.
But it's just be like, look, like, we want to hear from you. We want to, we care about you, your story, your history type of thing.
Well, you can tell we're not macho. We were jumping in the fucking ice machine.
Right.
I jumped in my own reflection.
Yep.
I mean, come on.
We got a couple good ones in the next video too, or stuff like that. But yeah, so I mean, I felt Room 2 was cool though. I mean, probably my favorite thing was Room 2 with the moan. Just because that was one thing that we both heard and we captured it, which is like the rarest thing ever in the paranormal world.
It's pretty, it was pretty loud too, though, because a lot of times, even if you hear something, it doesn't necessarily capture on your audio as loud as you heard it.
Exactly.
And it was actually pretty loud. Also, the piano key noises were weird.
Yeah, it was odd.
The only piano in the whole hotel was down in the speakeasy, which was downstairs in the front of the hotel, and we were in the back. Room 2 is in the back. There's 2 other rooms in the front that's over the speakeasy, and there was nobody hitting the keys on the piano anyway. Because at that point, I think we were about the only ones left up, other than maybe Regina and Sin. And so they're not down there playing the piano.
Right.
And I don't know about the heat anomaly on the bed. That was just interesting that black, really cold spot showed up, and then it kind of dissipated. And it seemed like, reviewing the footage, when we were there, it seemed like more of a dominant thing when I was watching it on the screen. Does that make sense? Like,
I see what you're saying.
And it should look the same as it's recorded. I can't explain it, but Room 2 was interesting. The footsteps that we had in there. We heard some footsteps in the cat. We had recorded some footsteps in the cafe earlier in the night. It seemed like, I'm with you. It seemed like something was just on the periphery of like being. This is what it seemed like. That there was something on the periphery that was curious and that would come in, but then pull back.
Exactly.
Testing the water. And then you hung out in Room 2 by yourself for a little while I went downstairs, and you had a few things happening even there.
I can't remember what, because it's been
yes, awesome. That's your cue to talk about what the fuck happened to you while you're in a room by yourself.
Dude, look,
I wasn't there.
I'm trying to remember what happened there. I remember. Okay, that's where I saw the black mass, and what I saw, it was like a ball. It wasn't like a full mass. It was like an orb, but it was black, and like we always say, the cliche darker than the darkness that surrounded it.
Right.
And it just kind of shot by. That was pretty cool. It was interesting. I don't know what it could have been. Obviously it wasn't a reflection, because it was black.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah,
I don't know. That was cool. And then the knocking. When I asked if it wanted me to leave, it gave me a pretty good knock there.
yeah,
I don't know why. Maybe he just wanted some peace and quiet, or maybe it was just coincidence.
yeah,
I mean, who really knows?
right.
Yeah, it was there were some interesting things in room 2. I would love to see if we got another 20 groups to go in there and investigate and we went back, what would happen,
If
right?
it ramped it up, and
Right.
yeah,
Or if it made it more comfortable. It's like
yeah,
the God, I forget his name, but the guy from the House in Between that you had on your show. So like he said, they almost had to train
oh yeah, John Bullard,
John Boyd. They
yeah,
almost had to train the spirits there
yeah, yeah,
to communicate. And I'd just be curious, like
yeah,
what would
yeah. It took
what
him
would
like
happen?
8 months to. If anybody's seen the House in Between 1 and 2, he said it took him like 8 months for the spirit to either get up enough energy or learn how to roll the ball. Kind of like Patrick Swayze in the movie Ghost, how he has to learn to move things. And Austin's never seen Ghost.
No.
He's the most unpopular culture person I've ever met in my life because I'm always making pop culture references and he has no clue what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, in the movie Ghost, Patrick Swayze as the ghost has to learn how to move things and he has to learn how to will up like all of his anger and channel it as energy. And so that's kind of what John Bullard was talking about, that he thought with the spirits there, that's what they were having to do is learn how to push that ball down the stairs. And then when it came to the chandelier dimming and all that, they
Yeah.
had to learn how to do that too. But that they learned how to do that a lot quicker. And like with Patrick Swayze in the movie Ghost, the reason he made that reference too is because once Patrick Swayze learns how to hit the trash can where the lid flips, then he learns how to push a penny at the door and do other things a lot
Mhm.
quicker than when the first time that it took him forever to learn how to move anything for the first time. So yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool analogy and a comparison with the movie. Um, and so sorry, I was reading something popped up on the bottom of the StreamYard. Um, but yeah, I think that may be the thing. Like you're talking about 20 teams going there and investigate and see if they learn how to communicate better
Right.
and things like that. If there is intelligence spheres there,
Right.
and so I would love to go there and have the whole hotel to ourselves.
Yeah.
There were 2 rooms that were rented by other people, and so we had no control over that. They were very respectful.
Oh yeah.
we were respectful of them too, but then they kind of after about 10 o'clock they went up to their rooms anyway because they weren't there for paranormal. They were there to stay in the hotel
Right.
and do things around town or whatever. So they pretty much didn't come out of their rooms after 10:30, 11 o'clock.
No.
But I'd love to have the run of the hotel and go in all the rooms because we're told, well, room 2 seems to have the most activity. Well, they couldn't tell us what activity. That's something
Right.
they've been told. So
Right.
I'd love to have gone from room to room and find out, is there another room that has more activity, whether it be residual or intelligent? Um, yeah, that would be an interesting experiment to have a bunch of other teams. And I don't know, after we've been there, I don't know. I mean, we were respectful and like the son that was running it. I don't know if you ever emailed him about the film coming out, but he was
No, I
excited to
didn't.
check it out and see what we caught because he was the one telling us about hearing voices and furniture moving and things and footsteps upstairs when he knew nobody else was in the hotel.
Right.
Because he's there, like he lives in an apartment in the back. He's there all the time. We're in the hotel. So you need to email him. Like, hey, we
I
have this
do. I'm
opportunity
glad you
about your
reminded
hotel.
me. Yeah.
And then we went down to the speakeasy. And
Yep.
that was a cool little area, even though, like we talk about in the film, it never would have been a speakeasy because the hotel was built after Prohibition. But for them to put a little bar area, but also I imagine when it was a hotel, we were talking about this. I don't know if it made it in the film or not, but we were talking about how it may have been like they would have probably had like a cigar lounge for men to sit
Oh
and read
yeah.
newspapers and smoke cigars, and that would have been either probably in the cafe area or in what is the speakeasy area now. And the
Right.
hotel probably was at least that one wall that the entrance shared with the speakeasy was probably open. So
Yeah.
you had a bigger open lobby to where now it's really narrow. The other side probably not because you have the fireplace. So
Mhm.
that wall was probably there. There might have been another opening, but that whole downstairs probably looked a bit different.
Oh,
Other than
yeah.
the stairs going up, probably looked a bit different back when it was a hotel. I imagine probably the check-in desk was at a different area away from the stairs and things too.
Yeah, probably.
But that speakeasy area we were talking about could have easily been like a cigar lounge where men are having cocktails and probably had a bar somewhere in there. Back in the roaring 30s and 40s, they would dance and have bands and things like that. So and they still do to this day at the
Mhm.
Commodore and the Speakeasy. They have a little stage that they set up in the summer, and they have bluegrass bands and acoustic. People come and play music all the time uh, when it's up and running. The Speakeasy was closed also because they were closed for the season. Because, like I
Yeah.
said, most of their business is in the warm months when people are coming to the Buffalo River to kayak and to canoe. So that's when the Speakeasy, they have a bartender and they're open until 11, 12 at night. And then, they have the cafe open. But the Speakeasy was interesting. It was a cool little place. The lighting was kind of cool with the purple and blue lights and kind of being low light. And we invited our friends in, Regina from PBF and Cassie from PBF Investigations, and then Sin Trader Hill, who is an amazing paranormal author, and she's also an amazing investigator from EVP Paranormal, Elk Valley
Mhm.
Paranormal. And I'm glad we brought them in because they ended up being kind of trigger objects
Yeah.
to get a few EVPs.
Yeah.
Um, and like they're all three great investigators in their own right, and they bring a lot. I love it because they bring a different point of view
Right.
to the
Right.
paranormal too, because they have different experiences than we both do, and so to sit and talk to them about the paranormal stuff is really cool. I always enjoy that, especially with Sin, with all three of them.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting because, like I said, we all have different experiences and stuff, and I think women bring a different perspective to the paranormal anyway.
Agreed.
That we need. They bring I'm a deep voiced, like big butch guy, probably intimidating to maybe some little kid spirit or something, to where women
Yeah.
can come in and kids connect with them, and would talk to them more than they would me or you. And
Mhm.
even other spirits, not just little kids, but other women and things like that. So
Right. Yeah, Speakeasy was cool, and the one thing that didn't make it in because we didn't, of course, capture it on audio is, we were all chilling there and we heard someone, like, coming down the stairs or, like,
yeah,
throwing piano down the stairs or
yeah,
I don't
it
know
was
what they were doing,
yeah,
and, I took off and went upstairs and there was nothing, no one, and, the hotel actually has the lights in the hallways programmed to go off at, like, 10 p.m. or something like that,
yeah,
which we
yeah,
figured out, but, yeah, that was interesting. I still don't know what that could have been, but we didn't
yeah,
capture it, so it didn't happen, so
yeah. And I also the door that went from the lobby to the speakeasy,
oh, yeah.
there's a crack, and I saw a shadow blocking, like somebody was behind there looking through the crack at us, and then I saw it move because there was light on in there.
Yeah.
That stayed on all night, kind of in the stairwell, and it was shining through there. But I saw a shadow blocking it out for probably 5 seconds, and it moved. But I didn't get my camera up there quick enough to catch it blocking the light out before it moved, and I was hoping that we had it on camera, but we didn't. So that didn't make it
Yeah.
in there either, and nobody else saw it. So it was just a personal experience that I had. But then we were talking, about the speakeasy stuff and about prohibition, and that apparently got something talking.
Right.
Right after Cassie asked when prohibition was, there's a voice that sounds like it says 20s, um, kind of whispery voice, and it wasn't any of us.
Yeah.
We were all pretty loud on camera.
Yeah.
We were all sitting in close proximity to the cameras and audio. And then Sin is telling the story about where you could leave cash in a mailbox in Hickman County, Tennessee, and come back like an hour later. There's a gallon of moonshine in the bushes for you.
Gotta love Tennessee, man.
Yeah. And so after that, it sounds like there's a voice that says "no shit."
Yeah.
Right after she finishes the story, it's like "no shit."
Right.
It's pretty funny to get something like that where a ghost is kind of being comical. Hopefully, I think it's a ghost. I don't know. Anyway, get an EVP that's comical and
Right.
chiming into your conversation. But some of the best EVPs come when you're just sitting there talking. Uh,
Yeah.
but there are a couple other things that we did debunk. We didn't make a big deal out of it, but we did debunk it while we are sitting in there because the wind was blowing really hard outside
Oh, the
because it was
flag.
storming, and the flag was hitting the pole. So they have these downtown Linden. They have some of the old looking street lights that are cast iron, whether they're green, and then they have these flags
Mhm.
that say Linden, Tennessee on them. And this one out from the Commodore actually said the Commodore. Well, it's
Yeah.
supposed to be secured at the bottom and the top. well, it's an older flag. It wasn't secured at the bottom anymore, so it's flapping in this really strong wind, and it actually sounded like footsteps.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily, I was sitting right by the window when we first heard it and thought it was footsteps, maybe upstairs, but it was just the flag hitting the light post that was hanging on. And
Yeah.
so Cassie says something about maybe we debunked, those claims, and I'm like, well, what claims? We ain't heard any claims.
Right.
But that was kind of a debunk. We just kind of glazed over. But if that's happening on a regular basis, people might think it's footsteps upstairs when nobody's in the hotel.
Oh,
Things like
easily.
that. Yeah, because the way the sound, it was weird how the sound of that traveled inside the hotel to make it sound like it was not in the room with us, even though that fire that was right outside.
Right.
That was somewhere else in the hotel footsteps.
Right.
And it was a rhythmic flapping, like hitting the light post. So it sounded like footsteps.
Yeah.
And then it would stop because the wind would die down and there'd be a gust of wind that would do it like footsteps again. And so it was interesting.
Yeah. That was interesting. There's always things like that, but oddly enough, I mean, Commodore didn't, other than like the heater and stuff like that. There wasn't a whole lot of like natural sounds, if that makes sense, or like natural things, especially for such an old hotel. Like, that's one thing that kind of surprised me is you didn't hear a lot of like the building settling. You didn't hear a lot of, like pipes expanding and contracting in the walls or all that stuff. But there was a couple things like the flag and stuff like that we kind of picked up on. But surprisingly, it was if they would just fix their heater, so it didn't sound like like someone on fire.
Right. Yeah, that was bad. We were cussing that thing all night.
Yeah.
It so pissed us off because it was so loud. And a lot of times, it'll pick up really loud in your audio because the microphones are sensitive, like we're talking about. But when you're there, it's not real loud. You don't really
right.
Noise. But this fucking thing was so loud that we were yelling to talk to each other.
Yeah.
When we weren't even filming in there.
Yeah.
It was so loud and annoying. And like, can we just fucking unplug it? But it was cold and rainy outside, so we needed the heat. I don't know if that thing's putting out any heat or not, because I think the hamster in that wheel was done.
Right. Right.
Anything up or not?
Right.
We both kept our jackets on, and I had my jacket off. I think we both had our jackets off, but it wasn't like toasty in there for as much.
No.
Not like it was throughout the rest of the hotel. So, y'all have any questions about the Commodore, about how we investigate and where we're going with this? Thank you for tuning in and watching here. Any of y'all that aren't familiar with us, I'm Eric Freeman Sims. You're probably watching this on two of my channels. If not, then I am the host of the Unseen Paranormal Podcast. I've been an investigator for over 25 years. Austin is a paranormal author and a horror author who has a new book out called Hell's Carnival. Y'all need to go check it out. It's on Amazon. But Hell's Carnival, it's a horror novel, so it's fiction. But Telling Me Horrors is nonfiction about a case that he had in a private home that's pretty fucking crazy. And Austin's been an investigator for many, many years as well. So we met each other and decided to team up to do this video series where we're going to go to different locations. And we really talked about it extensively before we started. We really want to go to most locations that people have never heard of.
Yeah.
Coming up, we do have some locations that some people are going to be familiar with.
Yeah.
But maybe never have been there because the cost is prohibitive almost.
Right.
It's insanely expensive.
No shit.
But yeah. But a lot of places that people have never heard of, let alone investigated, unless you're from that part of the country, around where that place is.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to do a video a month. And some of the videos are going to be longer, so we'll probably split them into two parts. And one will come out this Friday, this one Friday, and the next Friday, the second part will come out. And then we'll do a live stream like this, talking about each of the videos and answer any of y'all's questions. And take suggestions where, some places that maybe we don't know of, never heard of, that y'all might want to go investigate and check out. But Now we're gonna play you the trailer for our next
Oh
location,
snap!
our next investigation, and if I can find the fucking thing. Did I? Oh, there it is. No, I thought I uploaded it, but it did not save.
Well, come on
Did not
now.
PG. The Wolf House. Where's that at, Chris?
That was Taylor Mill.
Oh, was that Taylor Mill? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know these things. I don't know your business. I didn't know it was called the Wolf
Apparently.
House. I've
Yeah,
never
that's
heard you
what they
say the
named it.
Wolf House. You always say Taylor Mill.
I never wanted to call it that because people, I don't know. I just didn't want people going and bugging those people, because like it's owned by different people now.
Well, that's why I
So
didn't. That's why I didn't name the hospital I was at and where it's at that I was at last weekend.
right,
Because
right,
I don't. It's not open for investigation, and so I don't want people bugging the owner or even finding out who the owner is because he's not all about that.
right.
It's not that he doesn't want to allow investigations in the hospital. It's the city where he's at won't allow him
Exactly.
to. But excuse me, fucking sounds strange. Um, but to help him pay to fix the place up, he would love to have paranormal investigation.
Yeah.
But the city, they basically screwed him and cut the power off and told him that he couldn't get the power cut back on to the building. So now the building has been sitting for 5 or 6 years without any heat or cooling in the summer. So, it's falling apart because when you have the heat in the summer, it causes shit to peel off the walls and the tiles to fall out of the ceiling. And so the place, he's cleaned it up pretty good. But
Yeah.
I got the opportunity to go look around and check it out and actually saw a shadow figure run across the doorway and block out some light. And I wasn't the only one that saw it. I got poked in the butt cheek there, like I was saying, in my pants. But the weird thing about that was when I got poked in the butt cheek, I put my hand around there, like, what the hell? Because I thought I leaned up against something or something because there's wires hanging down in some places and stuff like
Yeah.
that. My pants were like freezing cold.
Right.
And it was chilly the other night, but it wasn't that cold. Like the rest of I mean, it was because it was like on my thigh area, my butt cheek. So it's not like my pants shouldn't have been cold. So it was interesting. Um, and the vibe of that place is amazing. But I was weirdly felt at home there. And I think it's
Yeah.
just from working 20 years in the medical field and working in hospitals too in the ER and all that. All right, I got the clip uploaded for our next episode. So here is the trailer for episode 2. I'm gonna take us out. On this episode, we travel to the small southern Kentucky town of Franklin to investigate reports of ghostly inmates who are still serving out their time in the Old Stone Jail. Then we head across the street to the Sims County Museum and Archives to check out claims of shadow figures, phantom voices, and echoes of the long dead. Join investigators Austin Lawrence and Eric Freeman Sims as they investigate stories of the strange, the bizarre, and the strangely haunted. All right, there's a trailer for episode 2, which will be out probably the second week of April.
Yeah.
We're looking at no promises, but should be out the second week of April. Yeah, we can't wait to show you because the Old Stone Jail is amazing, amazing history. Hey, Amber, thanks for joining us. Amazing history, and it's actually 2 locations. So you have the Old Stone Jail and jailer. Well, it's like 3 locations because you have the Old Stone Jail that's attached to the jailer's quarters, which is his own house.
True.
And then across the street, you have the giant 2-story Simpson County Archives and Museum. And I know other people have investigated there, but if you're not from around here, you probably never even heard of it. But the history of the place is phenomenal. We throw some of the history in there. We don't want to bore people with too much of the history, but we do talk about the history in there in the intros and things. And I threw a little bit in there in that intro in that trailer. But very cool place, and so far so good on the evidence.
It was very much a Commodore like experience to me because I didn't know what we were gonna get when we got back, but for the past week or 2, I've been bugging the hell out of Eric and
Yeah.
going through an existential life crisis because of some of the stuff we captured. and I can't explain it, and it's just pissed me off more and more every single day.
Yeah.
There's it's gonna be good not just because the quality is better and because our sound guy
Yeah.
just started to record sound on this one.
Yeah.
but, but there's just some stuff in there that's just it's wild. And we're going through now, we're marking down evidence, and we might as well just like circle the entire video at this point. Like, I don't know. I was going to cut it way back.
We just need to stream all of it on Twitch and just let people watch it and pick
Dude,
out.
I've thought about this, right? Like,
yeah,
if we could do that,
Twitch or Discord,
and
just
then
stream it.
the people would edit the videos for us, right?
Pick out the evidence. And,
exactly. And then we slap it together, and there you go.
Right. And look, the community helped us make this documentary.
That's right. But yeah, it's going to be a crazy video. It really is.
Yeah. And so my history with the Ozone Jail is I had never, until we investigated, exactly, work smarter, not harder. I had never done a private investigation there until we filmed. I have done 5 or 6 public investigations where we hosted it and sold tickets for various charity stuff. And I've also been up there for meet and greets. I know Billy really well and Elizabeth, who run the place. And Elizabeth hung out with us all night. It was kind of our go-to for the history and things. We had questions, and she was kind of unlocking doors and turning lights off and so forth. She was amazing. I love Elizabeth to death. She's awesome lady and a great investigator. And she has her own all-women investigative team now, which I'm excited about. So
that's cool.
See some of the stuff they're doing. But yeah, it was a great night. Once I reined in my ADD.
Oh my God, yeah, that was an issue. But yeah, it was a really cool place. Everyone was really nice, and I really what was that? He was the president of the
Historical Society that runs the Simpson County Archives and the Oldstone Jail. So he's the president and has been for like 20, 30 years.
Yeah. So he was
talk to him.
He was really cool, and I loved what he said, which was he didn't necessarily and I don't know if there's a board, I'm assuming whatever. Didn't really want to do paranormal investigations because of what other locations like Octagon have done, to where they pretty much remove all the history and it's all about spooky ghosts and demons.
Yeah.
And he was like, we want to preserve the history here. And he was like, as long as we can have the history or the paranormal work hand in hand with the history, that's fine. But we don't want to become known as a scary haunted place.
Yeah.
We just want to be a historical place where maybe the history is still alive.
Right. And also he was saying that like their opinion, him and the board's opinion of investigators and ghost hunters was that we would come in and break stuff and spray paint walls and things because he's been around on the board for the longest time before ghost hunters and things, right? Back when paranormal investigators were trespassing and things, and like urban explorers. Not all urban explorers, most of them have permission. I'm just saying some of them don't.
Yeah.
And some people go in and they do bad things. They go in and tag places and they go and they're disrespectful, and that's what they were worried about. And then when Billy Wilkerson came along, Billy is his group is Whiskey Tango Foxtrot Paranormal. Mm-hmm. And when he came in and started working at the museum and putting the exhibits together and things, he convinced them that, hey, this is a good thing. We can make a little money for, because they're a nonprofit. So make a little money for the society other than tours and things. And it'd be a good thing. And they've been doing it for quite a few years now. Unfortunately, they have stopped doing public events because of something that happened with one group, and all it takes is one group to pull it off. So no more public ghost hunts there, but you can rent it out for a private investigation from about, I think they do like 7 o'clock until midnight.
Yeah.
For $350, which is not bad.
No.
Yeah, I'm with you. We're with you, Heather. History is very important. And I think for me, speaking for myself, it's probably 75% of the history that I love, and the other 25% is the paranormal. Yep. Because you can ask Austin, I'm the one that dives into the history and knows all about the places and things like that. I love the history. And my favorite thing about the paranormal is possibly connecting to those people in that history that you can read about in the history. And then maybe you can fucking talk to them and they respond. Somebody that lived 200 years ago, That to me is amazing. That maybe that EVP is somebody that I was told about in history, and I connected to them. You know, that's phenomenal to me. And so, yeah, I'm kind of the historian and definitely a researcher in that, diving headfirst into it. Austin Moore wants to go in without knowing anything, especially the claims of the activity and things. And so I kind of keep that from him until we're actually investigating. And so it works very well. It's a good dynamic. And but the Olson Jail is awesome. The museum is amazing. I've had my own personal experiences in both. With even just doing public ghost hunts, I've had experiences, but it was really cool to go in there and finally do a private investigation. Just the two of us for the most part.
Yeah.
And then we brought in a special guest, a couple of special guests again.
Who could that
trigger objects. And you'll find out in the video why they're trigger objects. But
it just sounds so terrible. Like they were bait. We just tied them up and left them, and
she was so excited to be a trigger object.
Right.
When we asked her to, she's like, "Oh my god, yes!" And she was so excited. So yeah, you'll see, and throughout all of our videos, you'll see various of our friends kind of come in at different times and investigate with us and hang out. So, and we hang out with a bunch of really good investigators and really good people. So, they all bring something different to the table, like I was saying, and different methods and things. So, I'm excited for more of that. But predominantly, it'll be me and Austin. It's our project, and I want to say thank you for everybody that's watched it. If you're watching this, thank you so much for watching it. We're up to 7,200 views in 10 days. And me and Austin were talking, we'll be happy if we get a couple hundred. So it's phenomenal. And hopefully not blowing smoke up our ass or saying that our content has to go viral when we get millions of views. But hopefully content like this will overtake someday the bullshit of Sam and Colby and Omar Gosh and all these fucking fakers that aren't really investigators. They're not even ghost hunters to me because they don't know what they're doing. They've never been shown by anybody. They're just copying what they've seen on TV. And hopefully content, and I've seen the paranormal in the past few years, the paranormal community shifting in that direction. And now you've got the debunkers on YouTube who are calling out Sam and Colby and fucking Cody and Satori for their fake bullshit, and all these other fakers like Omar Gosh and the Fam and all these other fakers who are faking shit. And I think that's good. And you can call me a paranormal gatekeeper if you want. I don't give a shit. Those people don't belong. And if you want to do that, call yourself a paranormal entertainer and let people know not everything you see is real.
Exactly.
Don't be lying to people.
Keep people and places history out of your videos if you're going to be an entertainer.
Right.
Like I don't care if you're going to fake stuff and you're going to make these stupid little like TikTok reels and stuff like that of fake evidence is fine. But don't be acting like you're communicating with, your mom who passed away, and don't be acting like, just stop. Like it's so insanely disrespectful. And on top of that, you're ruining history of these important historical sites.
Right.
And
well, not even that, just like the disrespect of the dead in general. I don't care if it was some significant historical figure or not. I mean, even us going into the Old Stone Jail, we were trying to communicate with a lady who is believed to still be there that lived in the jailer's quarters, that her husband was the jailer. And we're trying to communicate with her. And she wasn't necessarily anybody big and important. We don't even know her name. Billy and them probably do. We don't. But she wasn't some big historical figure. She was just the wife of the guy that ran the jail at one time. But you should still be just as respectful to her and her memory because she lived. She was important. She was a human being.
Yeah.
And especially if you think that investigating, you're connecting with somebody that used to be living, well, they're just changed forms. It doesn't mean they're any stupider or anything like that, and they don't deserve your respect.
If we get life a lot after harder. We die, we're screwed.
Right. Well, I always say if you're an asshole in life, you're gonna be an asshole in death.
Yeah.
Why would your personality change
in death?
But you know what I'm saying? Why would your personality change? I mean, if you're just changing forms. So, but that lady, she deserves just as much respect as if we went to the Hermitage in Nashville and was talking to President Andrew Jackson.
Yeah.
At his house in Nashville.
Why is Andrew Jackson everywhere?
He's a big figure. He was a huge figure in history, especially Kentucky and
I
Tennessee.
know, but like,
Yeah.
I think the gas station down the street has the ghost of Andrew Jackson hanging out. Like, he's been
He
he's
made
been
his way around the country.
everywhere.
Yeah, he made his way around the country. There's
My
a,
God.
I mean, he's connected to the Bell Witch,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
he never really was around. There's no historical evidence to show that, but he's
Right.
connected to that legend. He also like the War of 1812 and the French and Indian War and all that. Yeah, I think I'm getting my history right, but he was even like down in Louisiana doing shit.
Yeah,
He was a
and
big time
where
attorney
we
too.
where we just filmed, I found out that he had a duel, like, where my hotel was, and I'm like,
Yeah,
"Why why
yeah.
what is going on?" He's everywhere, man.
Yeah, down the street, we found out. I didn't even know this about Franklin, Kentucky, but that little town has a lot of history, a very long history, and a lot of really old buildings downtown. Not just the jail and the museum, but there's a
Yeah.
church next door to the jail that was built in like before pre-Civil War, and they were celebrating what their 200 years
Yeah.
when we were there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're celebrating their 200th anniversary this year. So 1824 that church was built, but yeah, Austin found out right down from his hotel room they have the dueling grounds, and you found out what it was illegal in Tennessee, so they came across the state line to Franklin, which is
Yeah, he said something about how, like, it's Franklin's kinda like a triangle between, like, Kentucky, Tennessee, and there's, like, I don't know, like, some cities, so it just made
yeah,
sense that they would all converge there, and they would just duel to the
right,
death. I I
yeah.
I don't know. It's
Well,
very strange.
he famously killed Aaron Burr.
Yeah,
Andrew Jackson did in a duel, and so
yeah.
yeah, he said, "YOLO, fuck it, you gotta die sometime." And the thing is, he died of like fucking old age. He was like 80
Right,
something when he died
right,
at the Hermitage in Nashville, his big plantation home in Nashville.
right.
And that place is massive. We need to go up there sometime. They don't allow investigations, but they actually do ghost tours around Halloween
Really?
and kind of embrace the haunted history and tell the ghost stories of things that have happened to employees and things over the years. I believe he's buried there too on the grounds right behind the house. That house is beautiful and it's massive. It's huge. It's
Huh.
fucking huge. But I wish they'd let investigations in, but they don't. It's a
Word.
museum and shit,
Yeah,
because Andrew Jackson was a president.
yeah,
He was a major president. Everybody,
he was.
he's not one of those obscure presidents,
Right.
that back in history, even though
Grover
he was
Cleveland. The
200
hell
years
did
old.
you do?
He was a character for one.
Right.
Even the Tennessee State Museum, which Tennessee has a huge history going back over 200 years. Tennessee was founded in 1796, I believe. So, um, why? What Andrew Jackson has like half of the Tennessee State Museum is dedicated to him and his presidential campaign.
Right.
And it's not like we didn't have other presidents from Tennessee. James K.
Yeah.
Polk from Tennessee, but there's not huge monuments to him everywhere and shit. But yeah, yeah, it's interesting. That just made me think of a place that we need to see if we can get permission to investigate about it. And this is an interesting historical figure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we may. I don't. We may be able to get. Maybe able to investigate. I don't know. Anyway, it just popped in my head. Something cool to connect to the history with somebody a lot of people know. But we have some really cool filming locations coming up.
Yep.
We're telling y'all we have 4 more planned already in the coming months
Yeah, we do.
to film and let y'all know the reason that we are not putting out more content because these things for one I live outside of Nashville, Tennessee. Austin is in Ohio, Lima, Ohio. So it's a 6-hour drive between us.
On a good day.
Yeah, on a good day without traffic.
Anywhere from like 6 to 10 hours.
So we either have to meet somewhere in the middle, like around Louisville, area, and do some spooky stuff, or Austin, and the way Austin's job works, he doesn't always get a bunch of days off on the road to come down here to investigate, and so, or from even me to come up there and investigate. So we have to work around that schedule too. So we're gonna do 1 video a month, like I said, but I think the ones that we have coming up are probably gonna be 2-parters. We haven't decided with the Old Sun Jail and Museum yet. We got to see how much evidence there is and how much meat is on the bone with all that stuff to be entertaining for 2 parts. Because they're definitely their own buildings with their own histories and things.
Right.
And like the museum was built in 1929. That building was built in 1929, had its own life outside of the jail being across the street. But yeah, we have some exciting places. I know the episode after Old Stone Jail.
Oh my god,
it would definitely be, if not a 3-part fucking series.
dude! I've been so excited ever since you first told me about that.
Yeah. So.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, and then in May we're filming back-to-back nights at 2 different locations, thanks to some friends of ours who own and run. They own their own, and their own home is like extremely haunted, and then they run a different haunted place.
Right.
They run investigations, so we get to go investigate those and film. So yeah, we'll have some cool stuff coming up, and like I said, a lot of these places, hopefully you probably never heard of them, and I love seeing those places on TV and YouTube videos of somewhere I've never heard of, and somebody doing a real investigation at them. I'm not talking about the bullshit where some of these YouTubers are renting out Airbnbs and claiming all this history and hiring actors from IMDb to act as the homeowner to tell their story. And yes, folks, that is true. That is happening with quite a few of the YouTubers. They've been caught doing it, and you can go look it up on the debunker channels on YouTube. But I'm glad all that stuff's finally coming to light, because nobody's really challenged them until now. And it took the whole Cody Satori thing that really blew up the debunkers and got them popular and lots of subs.
Yep, that kicked a lot of things off.
Yeah, and I watch them on a regular basis now. I never did before because I thought they were boring, but now they're finding so much crazy shit about these people, criminal records and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're excited to bring you more of the Strangely Haunted, and hopefully y'all enjoyed the first episode. Like I said, a couple weeks we'll have the second episode out. It also takes time. We both have to have time in our busy schedules to go over evidence, which is hours and hours of audio and footage, and to also edit the stuff, to write the voiceovers, for me to record the voiceovers, for Austin to edit most of the video together, and then we sit down and watch a rough cut of it together. I say sit down, but we do it on StreamYard here, just not live. And we watch the rough cut together and decide what changes we want to make. As far as, okay, well, that doesn't belong in there. Maybe we need to add this, things like that. But the one promise we will make to you is that we will never, ever fake anything. And what we present to you will be stuff that we can't debunk. And if you ever come at us and say, well, I can explain that because I've been there, and this, we'll believe.
Please do.
I mean, we'll look into it and say, okay, well, we were wrong with this. That definitely is a good explanation, especially with the FLIR stuff, because neither one of us are FLIR experts, and I've had it for the past year and I've used it a lot, but I'm still not an expert in it. I've seen lots of things to it that I learned how to debunk and explain, but some of the things it's just weird things, and somebody out there might know better and have a lot more experience in FLIR. So, but yeah, we bring you new stuff here coming soon. So just go, and if you haven't subscribed to the Facebook page, please go subscribe to the Facebook page. We had a few people on here from Facebook, and go subscribe to the YouTube channel, and make sure that you hit the like and the subscribe button. Strangely Haunted. We were going to go live from there tonight, but YouTube, you have to verify, and then they make you wait 24 hours. I forgot about that with the Unseen Paranormal because I did it so long ago with Unseen Paranormal. And so next time we live stream, it'll be from the Strangely Haunted YouTube page. It'll be on there, as well as where you're watching it now on my personal page and Austin's. I won't be live streaming to the Unseen Paranormal because I want to keep the entities separate. I mean, I hope a lot of my audience for the Unseen Paranormal comes over and watches what we do. But thank you, Heather. We're so happy to bring it to you because me and Austin really enjoy the filmmaking and the process and the creativity of it. And I say creativity not because we're faking anything, but the creativity of deciding what shots to put where and cutting it all together, writing voiceovers.
We tried writing scripts and like sending them out to the locations for like the ghosts to read beforehand, like a couple weeks ahead, and be like, all right, so this is what we need you to do. Like ghost adventure. We need you to like bang on the refrigerator. All right, it's all we need.
We need you at 12:01 midnight to possess Austin.
Right. It just hasn't worked yet, but we're gonna keep trying.
And also, please comment on Strangely Haunted Facebook page or YouTube. And if you have any questions, holler at me and Austin, or comment on the Strangely Haunted page. And we will do our best to answer your questions and anything that you have. And also, like I said, Austin has Taylor Mill Horror out the book, which is his nonfiction paranormal book, which is awesome. I recommend it. And then he has his new fiction horror novel called Hell's Carnival is out on Amazon right now to buy as well. Go check that out if you're a horror nerd into Stephen King, things like that, creepy shit with a twist. You'll love this book. And I was lucky and I got a rare hard copy sent from the man himself with the whole care package. So, and then also me, myself, I do the Unseen Paranormal podcast. If you're not familiar with that, most of y'all probably are. If not, please go listen to the show. I have a guest on every week. We talk about different paranormal stuff every week.
And he never forgets to record both mics on Unseen. So it's always crisp audio. It's great.
How do you know I've never done that?
Well, you've never put it out that way.
Well, if I can't record it, how do I put it out? I'm just going to make a recording saying, hey, I forgot to hit record this week.
It's just you talking to yourself, asking questions for an hour and no responses.
So also, I was not trying to vague book either. For any of my listeners with the Unseen Paranormal, I'm taking a break because I have a lot of stuff going on, not just with Strangely Haunted, but I have something really exciting that I'm working on, and I don't mean to tease y'all. I will tell y'all as soon as it's set in stone. I don't want to jinx it, and I don't want to fuck the deal up. So I don't want to say anything until it's a done deal because I'm going to be disappointed if it doesn't work out. And I'm going to tell y'all about it anyway, even if it doesn't work out. So, but sometimes you need time in your personal life. This affects my personal life and my professional life with the paranormal. So it's going to change a lot of shit. I'm going to have to rearrange my schedule of my life for this, for probably the next foreseeable future. But also, I recorded with Sapphire Sandala today for her podcast. If you're not familiar with her, she does Stories of Sapphire, which is a huge podcast, award-winning podcast. And I recorded with her today. So look for that to come out in the future. She did not tell me when it was going to come out. She said it may come out next week. It may come out next year. She mixes up her episodes and she pre-records everything. So look for that to come out. Stories of Sapphire. It's me telling some of my personal stories about things that have happened to me in the paranormal, some of my thoughts on the paranormal. But thank y'all for tuning in. I just want to tell y'all, I'm so glad I met this guy right here. Me and him just became instant best friends, and we just fucking click. And that should show you in the video, the Commodore video, the first time we ever investigated together and filmed together, how well it could have gone way worse. Hey, what's up, Scott's Life?
It was funny as hell because when we were talking about doing this video, you would get so mad at me sometimes because you'd be telling me things like, hey, I want to do this. I'm like, what do you think? I'm like, yep. And then you're like, dude, I want your opinion. Then we started realizing, like, we'd be texting each other, like the live stream. We were messaging each other at like the same time, like, hey, we should live stream on the week after. Like, we instantly just have like the same visions and ideas, and it's weird.
Yeah.
Like, we'll constantly hit each other up, like, hey man, what'd you think about, like, really, dude, I was just messaging you that.
Yeah, and I thought he was just being difficult and being one of those people that doesn't want to make decisions. And he kind of is that way.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
but it works out. Our dynamic works, and I hope y'all are entertained because, like I said, we're fucking goofballs and make fun of each other. And we'll always put that stuff in our videos. And I think
really, really wish at Old Stone we recorded us setting up. That would have been the most entertaining thing ever. Because me and you are just going back and forth hardcore. Sin's sitting there. She doesn't know what's going on. She's like, are these people about to kill each other? I don't know. and then we're testing out the mics. And so I'm just going around the corner. And you got the headphones on. I'm just like, Eric, you're a bitch. Eventually I just hear him like, he's cussing me out, and everyone's looking at him like, what is he cussing about? He's like, look, I can hear him in my headphones. You can't hear him. This is personal, all right?
Yeah, because we had lavalier mics on. We had personal mics on, and I had headphones checking the audio before we started recording. And so nobody else in the room could hear him but me. And we're cussing each other back and forth. And I'm like, who the fuck are you talking to? It's funny. We're probably going to do a blooper reel at the end of them, just because true investigating, it's fun, it's funny, things happen, And I have no problem being the butt of the joke. I have no shame in my game. I don't give a
Literally and
fuck.
figuratively.
Yeah. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
So I don't care that I'm the butt of the joke. If everybody laughs at it and it makes somebody's day better, I don't care. I really don't.
exactly.
Because me and you laugh our asses off at some of the shit that I say and do. So
Right.
we're being respectfully respectful.
Yeah.
That was one of them from from the Commodore. And then I said something else the other day. Oh, in the Ostone Jail video.
Yep.
Yeah, there's something that I say that he makes fun of me about.
I have to figure out a way to make that into the video.
Right.
That's got to go in there.
But there's going to be
But-
some funny things in the video because those are just things that happen during investigating. It's not all fucking
Right.
serious. It's all these people are so dramatic and serious on TV and on YouTube, and that's not how investigating is. Any of y'all that investigate, you have to laugh. You have to laugh and have a good time. Or if we didn't have a good time doing this, we wouldn't fucking do it. I mean, half the time you're sitting in the dark talking to shit that's not even there. That
Yeah.
shit proves there. You look like a bunch of crazy people. So you gotta have fun with it. If not, it'd be boring as shit.
Exactly. And boring as hell to review because I was dying reviewing everything from this one. But then the one thing that the one guest on the next episode did, I was literally in tears crying. And it was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
Especially with your response and then their reaction. I was crying. I replayed that like 5 times. I was like, this is what I needed right here.
Yeah.
So that'll be in there for sure.
Yeah, but it's like I said, we can't always promise you evidence, but we hope that you're entertained by us being stupid and cussing each other and everything else. So
yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, thank y'all for hanging out with us on a weird Tuesday night. Just a random Tuesday. It's the only time Austin had off. We were shooting for Friday, but he's gonna work Friday. So figured a Tuesday. You're sitting at home, nothing to do. You can at least tune in and laugh at our dumbasses. So, but like I said, hopefully y'all enjoyed the Commodore video and come back and check out the other stuff we have coming up in a few months with Strangely Haunted. And we're also planning on doing a long form documentary as well. Probably close to an hour and a half about one subject, a local legend, and putting ourselves in a situation that hilarity will ensue because we're putting ourselves in a situation that we have no business being in the paranormal and that we know nothing fucking about.
If we do this will be the one and only investigation that I will be 100% terrified 99% of the time. To be completely honest.
Yeah, and also we just don't know how to do it. So it's going to be the journey of us learning.
Oh, it's going to be miserable.
Investigate this paranormal thing and try not to die doing it.
Literally.
Yeah. So y'all stay tuned for that later on this year. We'll be filming that. We're doing pre-production stuff now. I'm planning everything out, but it'll be a long form documentary, like I said, probably an hour and a half, and that'll be something we'll probably maybe try to shop around to Netflix and some of those places, and then it'll probably be available at first Amazon Prime or something as a full documentary to rent for like $1.99 or something.
Maybe we can get a like back in the day where they used to like release new stuff and you get like a DVD and like your box of Cheerios. Maybe this is our Taco Bell to get some Baja Blast.
Right.
I mean, they've got a Ghostbusters meal right now, right? Sure they do. We can throw in a free DVD with your
Strangely Haunted. It comes with the Baja Blast and 3 bean burritos, so you yourself can be strangely haunted.
That's right. With the I remember when they had the ghost grillers. Those things were so good, and the packages said "boo" on them. I loved it. Let's bring it back. Strangely Haunted, 2024.
All right, folks. Thank y'all for tuning in again. I've tried to end this thing 4 times, but so we're gonna bid y'all adieu. And thank y'all for tuning in again. And like I said, shoot us comments, questions, anything, and please go subscribe to the YouTube channel for Strangely Haunted. And check out everything else that we have going on. And I promise y'all, if you listen to Unseen Paranormal Podcast, I will be back soon. I know I've gotten text messages and other things that people are not happy I'm taking a break. But you got to understand, this season has already gone 25 weeks for season 4. I've had 25 guests, 1 a week for 25 weeks. I did take a week off for Christmas and shit, but 25 weeks, that is a lot. that's a lot to produce and a lot to put out. So anyway, I'll be back soon with Unseen Paranormal and build the show bigger than it already is, and got some great guests already lined up that I'm extremely excited to talk to record with here in the next week or so. And also excited to bring y'all some new topics we haven't talked about with some really good guests on those topics. And it's hard to find at this point. After I've done almost 160 episodes, it's hard to find. So, yeah. So stay tuned to our pages, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all that good shit. And we'll see y'all soon. Y'all stay safe out there.
See
you next time.